Language and media. The power of media and language. Let me begin with what Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher and the founder of Taoism, says about perhaps this intriguing issue, the relation between persuasiveness and language. He says that truthful words are not beautiful, and beautiful words are not truthful. Good words are not persuasive, and persuasive words are not good. In discussing the importance of language in media, very few people are not conscious of the fact that media is a powerful institution in contemporary society, as our lives are shaped, determined, and characterized by the production and the consumption of the media. So the term is really exhaustive and inclusive of instruments and technologies, both old and new, that carry and convey significant social practices. As you may know, it is derived from the singular Latin-rooted word medium, which means a method. The term, according to Johnson, embodies an increasing sense of plurality and diversity, and we could definitely witness this pluralization of the media in contemporary times. It has many different forms, and it defies any uniform and common denominator, according to Schmitz. In various forms, mass media would include newspapers, magazines, radio, cinema, television, digital, and electronic technologies that are associated with these. And I'm sure you can add on to this list. We as consumers are in the act of constantly, consciously or unconsciously, coding, decoding, encoding media messages, both linguistically and non-linguistically. The ubiquity of the mass media, with their expanding and multimodal nature, produce and disseminate particular constructions of reality. They generally construct, promulgate prevailing views and ideologies, and therefore they participate in transferring messages between their providers themselves and their targeted audience. They are often seen as scenes of battles over representations because they build communicative spaces through written, visual, and spoken language. They are often selective and perhaps reductive in some cases when it comes to what is newsworthy and what is highlighted. Because the coverage is not face-to-face interaction, the media's portrayal can be, or rather cannot be, immediately challenged or questioned by recipients. Most people would accept the media's portrayal, as this tendency is encouraged and mediated by the technologies involved. So the media as agencies of observations, interpretation, performance, representation, and dissemination exhibit a number of signifying practices which are unconditionally purpose-driven, according to Johnson and Enslin. So the media function as a social system in interaction with other social systems. In a way, they enter a semiotic relation on the shared cultural myths, the myth of neutrality, according to Schiller. So it would be very difficult to find impartial media. So how do they create this myth of neutrality? They do it through appealing to the aesthetic sense of the audience and linguistic codes that would be embedded in messages. Because language is not just what it is, that it shapes our thinking, but it is also about ideas, notions, messages that we think about. These messages often derive their presumed objectivity from their format of the technology of representation, and hence the media's portrayal of events cannot be immediately questioned, challenged, or countered by recipients, as mentioned by Bunvillian. So how does the media create this or construct this reality? Linguistic devices are used to create and maintain certain perceptions of reality. The study of the types and levels of language used, as shown in the article by Thomas et al., constitute what events and how they are to be covered. In essence, as they show, the same event can be differently presented by using different linguistic representations. So the example that they provide is the Daily Mail and the Mirror. Linguistic analysis would uncover how and what words, meaning for instance, names or nouns, adjectives, participants in an event, verbs or their actions are to be represented and how they are represented. So it is crucially important in the ways in which the grammatical structures relate to the participants, to the events, to their roles, and vice versa. So sentences can be constructed in such a way to shift the focus on different words. For example, while a typical English sentence expresses agents of actions as grammatical subjects, the agent can be made passive by transposing words and placing the recipients of actions in subject position. So agents then would be expressed instrumentally. A very simple example is John broke the window, and the window was broken by John, and the window was broken. How we use each sentence really depends on the context. And John broke the window, John is the perpetrator or the actor, so the agent, so to speak. So the actor is more significant if it is not known. The sentence identifies John as the agent. The action of breaking, of course, is important, but not as important as who did it. And the window was broken by John by shifting basically the agent to the end of the sentence. The action of breaking the window is definitely highlighted and would become more salient in this sentence. And the window was broken. We really don't know who broke the window, or perhaps we do know, but the action of breaking is more important, or someone, a stranger, passerby, broke the window and we have no idea, so we use passive voice. The window was broken. Again, in this case, depending on the context, the meaning could vary. As you could see through this very simple and straightforward example, different meanings and interpretations can be derived from the sentence, depending if we use active voice or passive voice. So the same event can produce two different accounts, linguistic representations or perspectives. in the example given in the source article, this is realized in the mirror and male through syntactic structures, semantic loading, different levels of mitigation, thus creating different reactions in the readers. So for the male, as it is pointed out, it is the danger to the establishment which underlies the urgent hunt for the rest of the gang. For the mirror, it is the danger to the public at large, which is foregrounded if the rest of the substance is not found. End of quotation. So it is with linguistic resources that we could analyze each representation. And definitely that is enlightening. With this linguistic background, we can analyze the language of the media. Linguistic distinctions, perspectives, and ideologies become clearer when we compare different media and the ways in which they produce what is called, according to Fairlaw, the common sense or dominant discourse. So media play an important role in the production and reproduction of language ideologies and the changes that may occur. The ideologies that are represented by the media generally reflect on socio-political interests and perspectives through mediation used to refer to the process of information encoding, transfer, and mediatization. So this refers to the organizational and orientational tool performed by the media with respect to mutual perception, the allocation and adoption of diverse social roles and communication in general, according to Schmitz. Now, the media is replete with many examples of the discussion that is underway now. Definitely, language ideologies are not just about language, but the power of representation of reality and language itself, differences, similarities, stereotypes, social relations, and how certain groups basically are accorded a higher status. I would encourage you to refer to some of these links to delve a bit deeper into the ways language and the media interact, both at the conscious and unconscious level these days. Thank you.